Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the daily scan for Tuesday, July 23rd, 2013. Quiet day on the news front today. Not going to beat this with a dead horse. We'll just move right along. Asia, looking pretty positive, pretty bullish there. Europe, looking pretty bullish there. And US looking relatively bullish for an open here, and gold is, I don't want to show that now. Gold is down a tad, still above 1300 though. Let's see, light sweet crude is at 106.35, still above that 105 mark. And remember what I mentioned about gas prices. So just a reminder again, Thursday and Friday, no videos. And then after that, when, I don't know, I might have a house full of kids for a while, at least maybe a couple of weeks. Videos may be kind of tough to do for the next 2 weeks after this week, but I guess we'll just have to see how that works out. All right. Current holdings, current portfolio. Goldman Sachs went in the money on me yesterday. I'm not going to panic yet on that one. I want to keep an eye on what's going on. Just because I'm sort of like Tom Sosnoff from Tasty Trade, formerly from Thinkorswim. I just have this dark cloud in the back of my head about the market. So whether it happens before this August expiration or not, I don't know. But I have a dark cloud. Okay, LinkedIn, we did recover a little bit yesterday, and then Netflix, we're going to be taking a look at what happens here with them. They had their earnings announcement last night, and this is what their chart looks like, with after hours shown in here. See that it went all the way down to a low of 232. Now, Netflix has quadrupled in price in the last year. Do you really think that that can continue? And should I have hung on to this August bear call? I just don't want to take that risk in earnings anymore. I took my lumps on that, kind of big lumps. And I'm not going to mess around with these things at earnings anymore. There's different kinds of earnings plays that are a bit more non-directional that can be done rather than doing the directional ones. But anyway, it looks, hindsight being 2020, looks like as though it may have been a very good play, and this would probably get pumped up to the max today when the volatility falls off. Remember, our white line is going to shoot up. And with a bear call, the red line would not change. So it's a different story with calendars and diagonals. So, but anyway, here we sit at 247 this morning. All right, well, what does that mean for our calendar? Let me reset this and make sure everything's back to normal. We are at, what do we say, 248 right now. And actually, I believe there's already been, 1,900 shares traded this morning. So considering that we are at 248 here, what does that mean? Well, for the current live calendar that I have, let's just look at the volatility here. It's at 122 and the back month is at 51. I believe that that's dropped about 10 points just since yesterday. And this one has dropped already about 40 points. So if we were to say that this one might come down to the 51 also. Let's see here, that would be a total of about 75 rounded off. So if we take 75 off of that, we can see that we would be profitable today. Would I close it today? No, I'm going to watch it for a while, because if you look at the interpretation of Netflix earnings, there was not as much growth as everybody expected, and the price has like I mentioned, it's quadrupled, and it's the price of an underlying is always based on the future potential, and if they feel that future potential is not as attractive as it was over the last year, then we should see the price starting to back off a bit here, and I wouldn't mind getting as much as I possibly can out of this trade, provided our red line doesn't move too much. So, excuse me, we're looking at 1260 here approximately, so if this one drops 10, now we're looking at 899. So that back month volatility could be painful as well. So with our corrections here, we're looking at 41 and 47, but that's probably not right, because the July 4 should be higher. So I'm going to wait a day or so to see what this position does. Now let's throw on this one that I was thinking about buying yesterday, and that would have been a total waste of money. So sometimes doing adjustments is just throwing good money after bad money, or bad money after okay money. I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't do that. Alright, close that off there. Last night, you want to take a look here too and notice that I did do the daily credit spread on IWM. I'll throw a chart up here, and let's go to, well, let's go look at our regular chart. Let's go back here. IWM. Okay, you may have guessed that IWM is going to be based off of two indicators, and I'm working on a matrix for this. And we're just going to look at the color of the 9-day moving average and the moving average on the MACD. And we're going to say if this is this color, if this is white and this is white, then we're going to go with a bull put. And that's exactly what I did. Bull put at, I think it was 104, is that correct? Yes. That's what I did. So effectively, you know, this thing is pretty easy. You just look at two things. I have an alarm set on my cell phone that alerts me when it's 3:30 Eastern Time, half hour before the market closes. I come in here and I take a look at what color these things are. And that's all I do. And then I go ahead and do a trade with a delta of at least 20, but probably delta around 30. And I did it with this Friday's expiration. So this is July 4 expiration, and you can see it here in my account right here. So yesterday there was 4 days to expiration, now there's 3 days to expiration. The only other rule that I have as far as delta is concerned is want to collect at least 10 cents on this particular underlying. It's going to cost me $2.50 just to do the trade. So, but and that's why I want to, first of all, see how it works in a real live environment without risking a whole heck of a lot, because this is only a 50-cent spread here. So I'm risking, $50 minus my credit, and that was 13 cents. So it's $37 I'm risking on this trade to make 13, or to make 10 and a half after commissions. So, not too bad, but if you have an 85% success rate, then you're doing pretty good. So that's my little Snowden that I did for today. This is my leak of that strategy. And I hope that Holder and Company or whoever doesn't come after me for that. Just kidding. Anyway, yeah, I was reading today, it turns out Snowden may not have as much as what he says he has. I don't know, they're trying to discredit him. I don't know. I have no idea. These things are much bigger than you and me and everybody else. These guys in Washington, they're big time crooks. Let's just tell it the way that it is. Okay. Enough politics. Okay. We want to take a look at a scan. We're going to go back to the A+ list. We looked at the indexes yesterday, and I can tell you just based on the way that the market went that they didn't. They didn't go anywhere yesterday. So we're going to jump back to our A+ list and see what the heck is going on there. And we'll just run through it real quick. We're only about 11 minutes into this video. I think we got plenty of time to do that. Alright, Apple's earnings are coming up. Ain't touching that. Is that? That's today. Yeah, that's today. Okay, well, this should be fun. We'll keep an eye on that one. I'm sure that'll be all over the news. Amazon. And their earnings are 7:25, so that's later this week. 23, 24, 25, they're Thursday. So we'll see where that goes. Ain't touching that, even though I have a target down here. I would not do a directional play on Amazon at this time. Take these off of here. Alright, they're gone. Baidu. Yes, they have earnings tomorrow. Ain't touching that. Celgene. Wow, check that out. Nice big pop on that. Nothing happening here. Uptrend. Not even close to our target. Let's move the target. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we like to move our targets. We like moving targets. Or at least we're willing to move our targets. Excuse me, CF Industries. They think the earnings are coming up here. They're not sure. They don't have confirmation. But we do not have a play here. It's just too flat. Not touching that. Chipotle. They had their earnings. They did very well. Turns out my daughter and her family went to Chipotle Friday night. I've been to one once. I didn't see the big deal in it, but she went Friday night. Said the place was packed. And then my wife tells me, oh, here's this article on the internet about how many thousands of different combinations you can come up with at a Chipotle for a meal. And I said, well, that's great. McDonald's is getting that way, believe it or not. You look at their menu and it's like, man, I'm just like, where's the stuff that I always ordered? Do you still have it? Where is it up there? There's so much stuff up there. So much. Oh, well, anyway. And then, of course, you can always have it your way, too, and take a chance to see if it does come out that way or not. All right. Man, I'm a chatterbox today, aren't I? Gold. We should have gotten a gap up yesterday. We did. This makes this one a little bit shaky for something that I would want to get into. There is nothing happening there. Downtrend, no entries. Google. It's kind of funny because they had their earnings and it was a little shaky from a price perspective. They did fairly well. 907 estimate, 956 actual. Don't know what their forecast is or anything, but I think pretty soon they're going to change the name of our planet from Earth to Google. It's still chatty. Man, I'm really... Wow. Okay, Goldman Sachs. This is why I'm holding out on this one, to see if we hit a new high here. If we do, I'm burnt. I'm fried, ladies and gentlemen. Should have, yeah, this is my rule breaker. Should have had an opportunity here, right here, to get in with a, we'll put, like, then we have a iron condor on that. We're looking pretty good, moving into earnings. This one's recovering. The white line on it, I'll just take a peek at that. The white line on it is finally starting to move back up. Of course, we're over here. We have a negative delta, which means we're a little bit hot on price. But volatility is keeps climbing on us, and it makes it difficult. So we're just going to keep an eye on that one. And if we go out here, what's our, I need to see what our expected move is. Oops, what's the expected move on August is $24. So we will be keeping a closer look on that one. MasterCard, 731 earnings, ain't touching that one either. They don't have enough weeklies. There's just the single weeklies, not multiple weeklies. Netflix, we know about that one, covered that one. Priceline, always fun. Priceline is always so much fun. Is it going to hit 1,000? I would imagine 1,000 is going to be a pretty big resistance point. Do we want to make a play here? Well, let me take a look. They do have multiple weeklies. So we don't have confirmation. No. That's our problem. We don't have confirmation. We could do, like a weekly up to here. I'm concerned again about this IV increase. So I'm going to stay away from it, I think. What are we looking at here? This is the expiration for earnings. Is this it? I would guess. And the expected move is 62. So earnings is tentatively scheduled on 8/8. So the second expiration in August would be, I think 8/8 is Monday, right? Let me check here. 8/8 is a Thursday. Okay, so this is the expiration for earnings, and this is pumped up to the max, so you probably could still do a August 13. Where are we here with a 885 for a 30 delta? And that brings in $1.55. That's pretty sweet. 885. Let's look here. 885 is right here. That's a little freaky for me. I'm not doing that. Okay, Panera. They have their earnings today. Well, that should be interesting. Aftermarket close. That should be interesting. But that's all I'm going to say about it, and that's that. It should be interesting. Looking here, looking at only a 12-point move. You got to be kidding me. Okay, whatever. Tesla, we have earnings coming up here. We do not have multiple weeklies, so I'm not going to get into any sort of August expiration. So we will stay away from that. Let's just take that off of there so I'm not distracted by it. Last is Visa. They have their earnings on tomorrow. Should be interesting. And through the magic of the pause button, I took the targets off of there. We have no targets for Visa right now. Okay, so that's it. We'll watch this IWM. We have another potential trade this afternoon at 3:30. We'll see what it comes up with. And that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.